Hello and welcome to Cardiff Met TV Sport. We are here, it's a big day, it's Wednesday, it's our favourite day and we're looking ahead to a big quarter-final for the Cardiff Met Archers men's football team against the University of Nottingham. Coming up on the show, we will be updating you with everything that's going on around campus. We'll be having some guests, we'll be having some analysis and of course we will be looking ahead to this huge game and Cardiff Met's quest to win a fourth national title.
But before that, it's been a big week here for basketball here on campus. And last weekend, Cardiff Met Archers were back in SLB action with the home debut of the new signing, Connie Clark. The Archers were looking to get the second win of the season, while they took on the Nottingham Wildcats. Let's see how they got on.
It was an electrifying showdown at Archers Arena as the Cardiff Met Archers hosted Nottingham Wildcats in the Women's Super League Basketball Championship. The game began with the Archers on the back foot as Nottingham's Giselle Havas made an early impact. In the first quarter, Cardiff's Connie Clark missed a free throw, but Abigail Younker's well-executed main-range jumper shifted momentum in the hosts' favour. However, the Wildcats responded aggressively with back-to-back three-pointers from Havas, who led her team with 16 points, tilting the advantage back towards Nottingham. A well-timed assist and a composed finish from Chambers Desmond extended the visitors' lead towards the end of the opening quarter. As the second quarter tipped off, the Archers gained greater control of possession, dictating the tempo and attacking Nottingham's defense. Kiara, Stewart and Connie Clark stepped up offensively, capitalizing on scoring opportunities. Stewart dominated the boards, securing an impressive 18 rebounds, while Clark emerged as the offensive leader with a game high of 22 points. By halftime, the Archers had the lead of the game at 37-31. Coming out of the break, Cardiff tightened their grip on the contest, executing swift ball movement and stretching their lead. Nottingham attempted to fight back with a three-pointer from Clay Jacobs and a well-finished inside basket from Ashley Lewis, but the efforts weren't enough to shift the momentum. In the final quarter, as the clock tipped down, the Archers maintained their defensive intensity while efficiently managing their lead. With a 12-point cushion in the closing minutes, they closed out the game with a convincing 66-54 victory, marking their second win of the championship.
And there's so many great stories around the basketball club, and we recently caught up with wheelchair basketball player Libby Phillips to find out more about her journey into basketball.
I first tried wheelchair basketball and wheelchair rugby at the In-Sport series in Cardiff in Nyack when I was 8 or 9, I think. And I liked them both because when I was younger, I was in quite a heavy chair. So being able to be in a light chair, being able to push quicker. And with other people, my friends, in wheelchairs also, it was just a level playing field. So I was obsessed with basketball because the basketball chairs are lighter anyway. And from there kind of joined my local wheelchair basketball development club and then went forward from there. When I went to In-Sport, I tried everything. My family's quite a sporty family anyway, so I was kind of pushed towards that. And I think sport's always been in our family a way to kind of make friends and be sociable and just bond with other people. So I was pushed towards it, and then basketball, obviously the light chair, and it was nothing about the ball or about the strategy at all. It was just about how quick the chair was and how I felt more independent in that chair. We went to Scotland and we competed in the Commonwealth qualifiers for 3v3. And we didn't win, and we were a very young team. But it was a brilliant experience and it was something that I'd never experienced before. So A, trying a different format of basketball, and B, just being with such a lovely group of girls. There were 4 of us that went and we were all very young compared to the teams we were against. It was just such a laugh. So I think most of my positive experiences in basketball have come from, from a good team environment and feeling confident because of the girls. So that, and then also just representing Wales, you can't beat it. Just the pride that comes with that is insane, so yeah. Since coming to uni as well, here, it's such a sporting specific uni. So I feel like it's motivated me since coming here and since having access to the court more often, S&C, nutrition, lifestyle, all of these things. It just opens your eyes to what you can do behind the scenes to get to where you want to be. It's not just about putting the shots up and going to the gym. It's about working your life and balancing everything. So that's kind of, it's switched my headspace a little bit, because before doing A-levels and living at home 2 hours away, I wasn't getting the contact that I am now. So now it's a bit more like, well, I actually can do this, so I put my mind to it, like it's actually doable. Whereas before it was a big dream, you know, and it's still a dream, but I feel like I can actually put things together and create a plan for myself with coaches to hopefully do it. Okay. Dad is nervous. Dad won't watch a game through. He gets so nervous. Mum loves it, but I think you get families in all sports, I guess, that are just so involved and they understand the game thoroughly, and that's not my family. They just love to watch it, and then you finish and it's not like they're giving me critiques afterwards. They're just like, well, you look good, or, you know, that shot was good. But yeah, I just think they enjoy watching, just like you'd enjoy watching your kid doing anything. I think when I was younger, my family did a very good job at not putting pressure on me. I think it's very easy to do that with kids coming into sport, but it was always just, you do it if you have fun, and if you're not having fun anymore, then you don't do it. So I never felt pressure. It was always for me, because I was enjoying it. My sister and my mum inspire me all every day. They're brilliant, just so lovely, and put up with so much, and just despite everything, just so tolerant and so determined. I feel like when people ask me that question, I always think, like, I don't think about, there are people that I want to be like in a sporting sense, but people that inspire me are my mum and my sister, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, amazing to hear from Libby there. And if you do want to hear more from Libby, she actually appeared on Neve and Georgie, our classmates' podcast, the Just Hungry pod. So if you're a bit of a foodie and you like your sport, that episode is definitely for you. So, I mean, it was amazing to hear that, Jay, wasn't it, about wheelchair basketball as well. One of those sports that doesn't perhaps get the attention that it deserves, and it's so great to shed light on a sport like that, isn't it?
Yes, with Paralympic sport, it tends to go under the radar or overshadowed by the sport they come from. So giving them the coverage they deserve helps out to bring the spotlight onto those sport needed, and bring the spotlight onto the sport that needs to be covered.
Yeah, and it's a big weekend for them and a big weekend for us here on Cardiff Met Sport TV. We'll be live streaming a double header on Saturday of the women's SLB game and the wheelchair basketball game as well. So that's huge for them as well, isn't it?
It is, and we also, from the SLB action, we expect to see more of Connie Clark, the new signing for the Cardiff Met Archers. She had an amazing performance last week, so we'll expect more for her.
Yeah, can't wait to see her. And as we mentioned, there is so much sport going on around campus today. Let's hear from our BUCS correspondent, Dan Thomas. Dan, what's been happening out there today so far?
Yes, thank you, Arled. It's been a very busy day here up on Kincoid campus. This morning, down at the tennis centre, both men's and women's teams were in cup action. The women comfortably beat the University West of England. However, it was a disappointing loss for the men's as they went out of the cup losing to Bath. Currently down at the swimming pool, the water polo women's team are taking on Aberystwyth University. They previously beat Aberystwyth 40 goals to 3, and we will bring you update at half-time on that full-time result. And we throw our attention down to Sophia Gardens now, whereas tonight, down there, the men will take on Nottingham Trent Seconds in a National Vase Trophy. The BUCS Southern Premier champions will be looking to do the double this year and beat them. That'll be a pushback 8:15 kick-off down at Sophia Gardens. Well, as you can see, the players are slowly warming up behind me, and joining me now in the studio is Will Richards, who will be commentating on the game tonight. Will, cup competition, knockout stuff, do or die for Cardiff Met. How important is this game for them?
Yeah, you know, Dan, it's absolutely massive. I haven't played my fair share of knockout games. The pressure and everything going into it is completely different. It's a completely different beast. You try and keep your preparation the same, but you know, the pressure, it can do weird and wonderful things to you. It's just all about, for those Met and Nottingham players, how they channel that pressure into performances today.
Yeah, and as we spoke to Barney Sodhi, who was captain in the side today earlier in the week, and he said how important it is to have a home cup quarter-final game here at Kincoid. How important is it for the home team, and especially what effect will that have on the away team? If the fans get going early, what effect will that have on Nottingham?
Yeah, you know, the fans will have a massive part to play today. You know, we know how loud the ultras can be, so they give that extra 10%, and as a player, that's sometimes what you need, especially in these knockout games where it's one and done. That extra 10% is maybe what it will take. So from a Cardiff Met point of view, those fans will be crucial, whether they're losing and they need that 10% to get back level, or if they're winning to just hold on. And as for Nottingham, you know, that's to get them unsettled. That we know what the ultras are like. They'll definitely do whatever they can to do that. But from a positive point of view, if Nottingham can somehow manage to silence them, that'll give them a load of confidence as well.
Yeah, and as we look now towards team news, are there any key players missing, or have they got a full-strength team? What's it looking like for Cardiff Met?
Yeah, it's pretty much a full-strength squad. Spencer Dimon-Hall misses out with a long-term knock, which is unfortunate because he's been quite a regular in the Met side. So we expect Barney Sodhi, the captain, to fill in at left-back. There are a couple players who have also missed out, but apart from that, it is a full-strength side, really.
Yeah, well, you go back to the gantry now, warm up and enjoy the game. Well, as we move closer to kick-off, I will now throw you back to the studio to Alan and Jay.
Yeah, and we will be hearing much more from the build-up to the football. But for now, we've got Cardiff Met Archers basketball superstar Shayne Scruggs in the studio with us. Shayne, thank you very much for joining us. You're looking very dapper this afternoon anyway. How's your season been going so far?
Thank you. Just start off. The season has been great. We've really been coming together, gelling as a team. We got a couple big wins. We just got the first organization win against Essex about a month back. Had some tough losses we had a tough loss in the playoffs, but we've been playing good, been coming together, cohesive unit.
I was checking you out because you played the NCAA Division 2 with Avila.
Yeah.
What could you say is the main difference between American basketball and UK basketball?
Oh man, that's tough. I
Putting you on the spot.
Yeah. I would probably say the style. It's just a different pace of basketball to where everything in the U.S. is like 110 miles an hour. Here you have a little bit more skill, a little bit more methodical players to where they kind of use their skill sets and stuff more than their athleticism. So you have to really kind of think the game more than just play it. I would say that's the biggest difference.
And for those who in the UK might be less familiar with basketball, obviously you only have 5 on the court at any one time. You have squads of kind of between 10 and 15 guys, something like that.
Yeah.
Does it help, especially you coming from the States and settling into a new country, does it help that you're quite a small squad, that you get closer to your teammates, you're able to form better bonds
100%.
with your teammates?
100%. So before I got to Avila, I was at North Carolina A&T, Division I, HBCU. But we had a huge team, huge unit. And it was like, I love the experience, but it was too many people to really get to know one another. Here, it's like, we're going out every week, you know what I mean? We're hanging out, we're just really bonding and gelling. I'm really loving the experience, so, yeah.
That's something that you mentioned about being involved in an NCAA one project. It's like, you've got the first squad, practice squad, and then even reserves.
Literally, yeah. Yeah, so there would be a 15-man unit just for our practice squad, and they were our scout unit. So if we had a big game the upcoming week, like we're playing University of Illinois, it's like a televised game, you know what I mean? We don't want to get embarrassed. So we got the scout unit coming out, running all their plays, so we kind of know what to expect the upcoming week.
And just touching on, how are you finding Wales? I mean, it's very different to the US, I imagine. The weather probably is one factor.
My goodness. It is. It's like
How are you
Seattle.
finding
It's
Wales?
always raining here. Man.
It is, yeah.
I'm liking Wales. I'm not gonna lie. It's everybody seems extremely personable. I've had a warm reception. Like, I'm really liking it. I really am.
And you've got a big presence on social media, and I have to ask you about your link with the brand Stria Sports. Is that correct?
Yes,
Stria
Sports.
correctly? Tell us a little bit about how you kind of use your social media and your association with that brand to help you
100%.
not only in basketball but in your personal life as well.
Yeah, for sure. So social media, I kind of try to be a jack of all trades. Like I play basketball, but I don't want that to be like, oh, Shayne's a basketball player. No, like I do a little here, do a little modeling stuff, whatever the case may be. But with Stria, it's I have a signature shoe line that came out with them. I've been working with them for about a year and a half now. I'm a signed Stria athlete, Stria brand athlete, and I help their marketing. So that is another thing that I do with social media is kind of like digital marketing, working with different brands and stuff like that. But street has been really good. Shoes are great. If you guys want any,
I'd love some. Yeah, if you can get us some. Have you always kind of been into shoes? Is that always something?
Oh man, I'm a
loved?
sneakerhead. Oh yeah, my dad and my brother really got me into that. Sneakerhead, big sneakerhead. So having like my own shoe is kind of like a dream come true. Honestly, I didn't really think that would happen, but blessed. I'm really blessed.
And just touching on the women's game, just there. Are you guys? Have you been? Do you have a close bond with the women's team? Are you going to be going down to support them and stuff as well today?
Yeah, they just got a new player. I haven't seen her play yet. I'm heard she's really good. I'm really good friends with Kiara, the other American. Good friends with like everybody. Honestly, the men and women's team, like we kind of have socials and stuff together. Like we're pretty cool. So I'll be supporting 110%. Hopefully, I'm watching them get a win. So yeah, I think they'll get it done today.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. And just before we go to the football, Cardiff Met have been extremely impressive going forward this season. And we sent Alex Hyman and Cam Melly sort of behind the scenes to have a look at why that is.
Morris in behind. Morris will get there. Morris shoots and Morris makes it 3.
So as we know, Alex, it was a slow start to the season for Cardiff Met, but in recent games we have seen a flurry in goals, and a lot of that is thanks to Jake Morris, the striker, who's seen 6 in his last 7. I just quickly want to break down this footage and find out what makes him such an attacking threat. So we see here, as the ball is passed out to the right-hand side to Reynolds, he basically leaves himself with the left-back in a one-on-one situation, beats him, forcing that centre-back to push over to the left-hand side, leaving Morris in pretty much a one-on-one.
I mean, it's the sort of area where Morris just doesn't miss this season. He's been so quality up front. And another thing we want to highlight is his pace. His pace has been impeccable. We know that Cardiff Met play with those 2 wide wingers, allowing Morris to punish teams through that middle. And we can see there, he's able to break the defensive line, a great finish and a nice little celly to go with it, Cam.
Well said. And another thing I want to give credit to is the coaching staff, who have obviously set up this triangle of press, which means that the defender has nowhere to pass the ball. You see him here, panic, straight to Morris, and you're not going to get much easier than that.
No, it's the sort of range he doesn't miss from. And then finally, a key word we see on the football pitch, composure. Morris has spades of it. We know he trusts that left foot of his, and you can see there how he's been able to create a little bit more space by just being patient. And it's been really good to see from Morris.
Exactly. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see him on the score sheet tomorrow, talking about that pace with the 4 at the back. If he can break that line, I think he's going to have a very good day.
Yeah. All looking forward to it here. Back to you in the studio, Alid and Jay.
Yeah, and Jacob Morris will certainly be a threat for Met this afternoon. I mean, we talked about it in that piece, Jay. Pace can be deadly, can't it? And Cardiff Met have pace in abundance, don't they?
Yes, and when you have someone that has that physical advantage regarding the defense is gotta be looking after him, because that is just that of a threat that you cannot overlook at him. You're going to be constantly looking at him. The defense will be constantly sending players on man-on-man press just to be aware of him. So against a team that will play on a low press, that will be more direct, they will definitely be looking on to just nail him down to try to get some counters going on.
Yeah, and something that I'm particularly interested in this game this afternoon is that Cardiff Met are used to playing teams that play a possession-based style, and they're used to pressing in 2s and 3s, high press. The University of Nottingham play a lot more direct, and they're going to have to deal with a lot more long balls and all of that sort of stuff. So it'll be interesting to see how they do with that, how they deal with that. How they're going to have to change their defensive approach.
I don't think they'll necessarily have to change. The main point will be on the defense side of the Cardiff Met, because when you play against a more direct team, as long as your main plan works and you are on point on defense, that shouldn't be a problem at all.
Yeah, and we saw the press conference, didn't we? So let's have a look at that.
Yeah, and a handful of Archers players spoke to us on Monday about today's game. Here is what they have to say about today's quarterfinal clash.
From what we've seen so far, they're quite a big, direct, physical side. So we'll be expecting a bit more of a fight than we've probably had with other teams that play in the south. It's been quite, in general, quite technical games, a bit more tactical, but we're expecting a bit more of a fight ball from them, and we'll probably try settle it down a little bit if we can, and play a bit more football.
It's just a results-based game, and when you're in a league season, you're looking for performances a little bit as well. This is a cup final, or we've now got 3 cup finals to go and be national champions. So I think we're approaching it the same in terms of the way we're playing, because we're playing well and we're scoring goals. But in terms of it being a one-off game, we need to throw the kitchen sink at it, and if we have to change the way we're doing things in the middle of the game, that's what we'll do, and we'll be ready to adapt and try and find the answers to any questions that they may bring with them.
I think the first 3 or 4 games, because it's such a short season, it's almost like your pre-season. You're still trying to like get to know how we're playing, like the system we're going to play. And I think we've added some quality in, like Ryan Reynolds, Lewis Rees, who are like starters in the Welsh Prem. They've kind of bolstered that squad depth to kind of see us through games where maybe before we would have dropped points or conceded goals. They're like proven goal scorers, so I think that's obviously helped. But I think 4 or 5 games in, we've kind of known how to like work with each other, and then obviously we've won like 5, 6 in a row now. So it's been we know what system works, and I think we're just going to stick to that throughout the cup, because just don't broke, don't fix it sort of thing. So just see how it goes.
Yeah, great to hear from the boys there about their thoughts ahead of this game. And one thing I picked up on that, Jay, Barney Sodi there saying that they will change their style to adapt to win this game. Whatever they have to do to win this game, he said it's 3 cup finals that they've got now, and it's just about winning. That's a bit of a contrast, isn't it, to what we see in the Premier League at the moment with managers like Ange Postecoglou, who is so hell-bent on playing his own style no matter what. It's a complete contrast, isn't it? Cardiff Met, anything to win will do, whereas Ange he's not falling on his sword with his principles, is he?
Yeah, you mentioned Ange Postecoglou. We can see that as well from Pep Guardiola. He's not been able to adapt. He's not been able to find the key to change. So whenever you need to win, in this case in a knockout stage, you gotta adapt. You gotta show up that you got more than one plan in order to win. So I quite agree with them. They need to adjust and they need to change to whatever they need to do to win.
Yeah, and let's see if that costs Ange Postecoglou his job. But hopefully we'll get a result for Cardiff Met today, and we're just about in position to throw down to our commentators. The players are nearly ready at the King Coyd Stadium. So let's join our commentary team of Will Richards and first Will Shepherd.
A day of drizzle is breaking briefly for an exciting afternoon of BUCS football. Just on time, the drums start beating below us here on the gantry as the teams run out. A home quarter-final for Cardiff Met, 3 times winners of the BUCS Championship, is the next step on the road for a team returning to the top flight after a couple of years below it. It's a pleasure to be joined for this one by Will Richards. Will, a massive afternoon ahead of us.
Yeah.
Knockout football here at King Coyd.
Yeah, cheers, Sheps. It is. We should be in for a really, really exciting match and a really exciting afternoon of football as well between 2 really strong teams. Obviously, they're coming off a lengthy break as well, but yeah, really exciting game of football here for you this afternoon.
Cardiff Met have grown into this season. Winless until Game 5, they've since notched up 6 victories on the bounce and 26 goals in that run. Their opponents have followed an inverse trajectory. 3 wins in their first 4 games, but since then, their only stats in the win column have come through their opposition conceding the game, including their last match, the round of 16 against Swansea. The University of Nottingham may be travelling from a city of rich footballing history, but they haven't yet tasted success at the top table of university football. Met have 3 championships in 4 years to end the last decade, but the history books mean nothing once you cross the whitewash and the whistle blows. Now let's take a look at Cardiff Met's team sheet. Goalkeeper Harry Irving kept a clean sheet against Hartbury and has been in good form of late, although the pressure has been taken off him a little by the amount of goals Met have been scoring. Ever-present Evan Cadwallader and captain Barney Sodi have been solid all season and will start at right and left back respectively. Do not adjust your TV sets. That is Ryan Reynolds in the number 7 shirt. Cardiff Met's own has a habit of scoring Hollywood goals for the team, but is yet to buy his own club. He'll be looking to combine with striker Jasper Payne, who's been in impressive form since coming into the team in the latter stages of the regular season. Dylan Hall, Bowen and regular captain Charlie Bullock all miss out through injury, while Tom Vincent has featured in the starting lineup a number of times this season, but will be looking to impact from the bench today.
Yeah,
Will,
one player.
Your thoughts on that team?
One player to watch for Met would be Barney Sodhi. Usually deployed higher up the pitch. Today he's filling in at left back due to Dylan Hall's injury. I wouldn't be surprised to see him be pushing further high up the pitch and watch him bring tremendous energy down that left-hand side as well.
Cardiff Met v Nottingham, a BUCS Championship quarter-final, with Bath lying in wait in the semis, having just beaten Newcastle earlier today. Is a return to the glory days the immediate prize for Met, having regained their place in the Championship less than a year ago? The next 90 minutes will see a new chapter written in Archer history. And it is Nottingham there with a strong header, knocking this ball back into the Met half, but they immediately put the clearance in. As these two teams who haven't played one another yet this season, the teams in the Northern Division of BUCS and the Southern Division of BUCS, do not play until the knockout stages. Well, do you think that lack of familiarity with one another is going to be a challenge for the teams, or do you think it will allow them to play their own game and not kind of be too tied down by the analysis they might otherwise have done?
Yeah, I think it can go both ways, to be honest. I think there'll be a sense of freedom for both teams. They don't really know what to expect from one another. I did speak to Elliot Evans earlier on today, and he said the team was prepared well, and the analysis had prepared the team as well. So, yeah, I think it can have an effect both positively and negatively as well.
Well, twice already, Met have looked to work that ball down into the left-hand corner, sending Jasper Payne to work. He has been in incredible form since joining the Met side. He's a player for Britain Ferry Llantoisel. I'm not sure. You've been in Wales longer than me, Will. I don't know whether I quite said that correctly.
Yeah, I think so.
But he scored against TNS earlier this season, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, and that's no easy feat as well. He's a promising player, very highly rated, and for Met to have him as well, it's going to be a positive for them. He's going to bring something else, something that they might not have or have had so far throughout the season.
Cadwallader not in any rush to keep this game moving at the moment, leaves that throw-in for Jack Veal over on the far side. Met wanting to make sure they've got themselves set up really well. That first chance with the free kick coming to nothing. Long throw into the box here. No one able to get a head on it initially. Met falling down. And the first shot of the game, the turn and poke from Lewis Rees, easily dealt with by Alex Akers in goal for Nottingham.
Yeah, he's a fox in the box, Rees is. Got shot off quickly there, and Met will need more of that if they're going to look to be scoring goals today.
Akers, a slight spin on that goal kick. Means it goes waywardly over the halfway line, and Met are able to regain possession. A strong challenge coming in from Jake Morris, too strong in the referee's opinion. First free kick here for Nottingham.
Seems as if Morris is playing more off the left-hand side, which is a bit of a difference for Met. He's usually been deployed through the centre so far this season.
Good header won by captain Sodhi. Knocking that one over the sideline. Throw in for Nottingham. We're looking for the options. It's going to be another throw in here. Slightly further down the pitch. This Nottingham's first foray into Met territory. Kabonga. Not for the first time in these opening minutes. A firm challenge coming in from Met. And this looking to be Nottingham's first opportunity to get the ball into the box. And our first chance, Will, to see them fully on the attack.
Yeah, they need to make the most of these opportunities, Nottingham. Put the Met defence under real pressure. Sodi does well there.
Well, they're going to need to do a lot better than that. Sodi should not have been the man that managed to get the clearance on that ball. However, this is working nicely for Nottingham. Just missing the final man in there after that promising cross. Irving able to deal with it, and here we go right down the other end. Akers having to come out of his box to get his head to that. Nottingham under pressure here. The clearance to no one.
Well, it's a feature of the game, the sweeper-keeper role. You've seen a lot of teams play with their goalkeeper almost acting as an outfield player, but it does come with its risks as well, as we just saw there.
Yeah, you probably want a bit of a firmer header on a ball like that if you are rushing out as the goalkeeper. It's Nottingham escaping that threat, and it's Kabongo now combining in midfield with Veal. Ricochet ball. The danger for Met for just a moment.
Yeah, Morgan did well there, put his body on the line, and that's what we'll be expecting to see more of from him. Him and Veal, really, they're kind of a throwback to the old age of centre-backs, really put their body on the line as well.
Well, he stayed down for the few seconds following that challenge. The referee's actually gone over to check that he's okay. Morgan back to his feet.
You know, it's a strong challenge when Morgan stays down.
Some scraps on that far touchline as the players position themselves to try and receive that throw. And in the end, it just bounces over the line, and it will be Met possession in front of their supporters. I wouldn't be surprised to see the number of supporters over there grow as this match goes on. Knockout football, quarter-final BUCS Championship football at King Coy. This is a huge afternoon for the university football team to showcase what they can do in front of their home supporters. Well,
It is. It's also the last real home game of the season. There's not too much football left. Obviously, the semi-final will be played away and the final in Loughborough as well. So this is the last chance to see Cardiff Met at King Coy in the BUCS competition.
That ball rather just kicked away by Nottingham, not taking the opportunity to try and build an attack. And Morgan given plenty of space to run into. Plays it to his good mate Barney Sodi, who fires this down the left flank. Again, Payne sent scampering after it. Again, Nottingham able to get to the ball first. The offside called anyway.
Yeah, Payne looks like he's got a real zip about him. Chasing down, putting pressure on those centre-backs. He's going to need to do a lot more of that throughout the game.
Just a dip in the noise here as Akers shapes for the free kick. Deep down into Met territory, but not near any of the Nottingham players, and sent back over the sideline. It's McClure again with the throw-in. Morgan wins that scrap, gets a knee to it, but Nottingham with plenty of space on this left-hand side, and Sure in possession. Sending it down the wing to Jesse Friend.
That's a great ball.
First opportunity for Ethan Cadwaller to defend this one, but in the end, it's actually Eli Collins that comes to the rescue.
Yeah, he's done really well there. Winning the ball back and then driving up the field, winning the free kick as well, just relieving Met defence of that pressure. Really good job there.
Veal, scuffed clearance. The rebound reaches Morgan. He sends it forward now for Morris. He does have a bit of time here in that left corner. The header from Nottingham. Some peels from Met, but that was never really going to be given. Strong play from Garrett. And now here, Friend is through. He just needs the support. Garrett is there. Can he find him? He goes more ambitious, trying to get that into the box in front of goal, but too many Met defenders there. Wasn't going to work out for him.
Yeah, there was appeals for a handball as well, but the referee waved them away. I think that would have been really, really harsh if that had been given.
Again, play opening up on this left-hand side. Morris Looks potentially to cut back inside, decides not to. Cross along the ground, a little bit behind where it needed to be. Sodi does well to keep possession for Met, and will be called into action again here. Good heads-up play from Sodi. Back to Morgan. Off the left foot into centre field. Beal now over to Cadwallader. And back to Irving. There you see that sweeper roll you were talking about, Will.
Yeah. I did want to speak about that little run from Sodi just a minute ago or so ago. That diagonal ball from the centre-back, that's been a feature of Cardiff Met's play this season, and as I said before kick-off, expect to see Sodi adventure down that left-hand side.
Sodi with a great cross and a nice header coming in, but over the bar. What a shot on target on that occasion. So we're 10 minutes into this one. You see that promising chance for Met.
The Nottingham manager there, just been given a yellow. The referee was clearly not happy about something that went on there.
I mean, 10 minutes into the game, Will, as a manager to get a yellow, that's you've got to be saying some pretty grating stuff that the referee's not agreeing with.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what he's been complaining about either. It's not really been maybe the handball decision that didn't go their way, but from our position here in the gantry, it didn't look like a handball. I mean, there's not really been any fouls or anything like that really that have been contested, so I'm a bit unsure of what he's been complaining about, to be honest.
Maybe it's a tough journey down and he's still just frustrated about the coach or something like that, but yeah, I would agree, Will, nothing on the pitch to be aggrieved about. That cross not reaching its intended target. McClure able to come away with it, finds Swan here. Good ball from him into Garrett. Still going, Cadwallader with the interception. Morris unmarked here on the left-hand side. Sodi. Again to Morgan, and all the way back to Irving. Bit of a shirt pull there on Reese, but he does manage to get to the ball first. Cadwallader playing it forward to Payne, over on this right-hand side now. Nottingham to it first, and all the way back to Morgan. You can see that standing crowd starting to accumulate in that far corner, and Met will need them. All of the teams that Met well known on the BUCS circuit for the amount of support that they get for their team. You don't get that without a sporting programme that achieves success, and Met is certainly one of the universities that's right up there year after year, achieving success, being in the running for winning BUCS championships at the very top level. Today, the biggest attraction of all on campus is our men's football side. Been a while since Met have had a competitive match, Will. I know you were chatting to the manager earlier on, and he was telling you a little bit about their preparation coming into this one. First really close opportunity for Nottingham. Didn't look like anything was going to come from that free kick deep back towards the Nottingham box, and that could have been really quite an unlucky goal for against Met earlier on.
Yeah, well, Shebs, I was just preparing to answer your question. I looked up and Nottingham got down that left-hand side. The ball was played into the box and it was a poor finish, really. The striker should have done a lot better with the chance, but it will give Nottingham confidence to get down in behind the Cardiff Met defence and creating opportunities, but it has been a bit of a nervy start from both teams.
Yeah, I mean, Elliot Evans would have been really frustrated if that's the way that his side had gone behind under 14 minutes into this game.
Yeah, definitely. Especially how strong Cardiff Met are at the back as well. To concede what would have been quite an easy goal would have not been Elliot Evans' best wishes.
So yeah, only one competitive game in the last 2 months for Met. It's a big win. They have been on form in the last 6 games of their BUCS season. But yeah, friendly to prepare themselves for this one.
Yeah, they've been in tremendous form in BUCS, and BUCS is really all about momentum. So that break of nearly 4 weeks or so, it's not helped. But obviously Nottingham have had the same. Before that, it was 23 goals in 6 games from Met, really turning up and putting the ball in the back of the net. But they did play Brookhouse College in a friendly for their preparation for this game, which they won 5-3. And that's, Brookhouse are a good side as well. They have a international football programme going on at the college there. So, yeah, really, really positive result that for Cardiff Met.
Kabongo winning that header, getting it back to Veal. Looked like a possible foul there on Eli Collins, but nothing given by the referee. Harried clearance from Met has ended up at Nottingham feet.
Yeah, Collins just caught on the ball there. Maybe thought he had a bit more time than what he did actually have. But great pressure from Nottingham to win the ball back and winning the free kick. Now they'll look to get the players into the box and put that Met defence under more pressure, I should say.
Nottingham looking to take that free kick right in front of Met's bench, but being asked to take it back just a few yards. Going to send this high towards the edge of the box, and Irving looks to win it, and he wins it well. Dominant goalkeeping from Irving. He's cemented his side in his position in this first 11 after a couple of changes around earlier on in the year. And you see exactly why there, and a good statement of intent from Irving early on, making sure he got to that ball.
Yeah, it'll give him a lot of confidence, that as well. As a goalkeeper, the first couple of claims, saves you want to make, you want to be strong, and he was there, so that will give him loads of confidence.
He was talking in a press conference about the fact that he wanted to really enjoy this game, the opportunity to play knockout football in the BUCS Championship. You know, this side with such pedigree in the competition, but a couple of years out the top flight, they haven't had these opportunities recently. And as he comes towards the end of his uni career, he wants to make the most of it. Yeah, and you mentioned it there, Sheps. For players like Irving, they are in their last year, so it is one of their opportunity for Nottingham, but Irving all the way out gets the clearance in there. There's a bit of afters as well. Irving clearly not happy about something. He feels friend maybe left a stud in there, so he tried to chase down that ball. A couple of words from the referee, nothing more. Yeah, I think the referee's been all right so far. Tried to let the game flow, and that's what we want to see, especially in knockout football. Yeah, you don't want the game to be decided by the referee's decisions. You want it to be decided by the actions of the players on the pitch, the goals they score, the goals they save. And so far we have seen them given plenty of opportunity to make their own mark on this match. But we still are awaiting for the opening goal, as Met build another chance here that ends on the head of a Nottingham defender. And Swan now playing a risky ball that was chased down by Reese. And Friends just about keeping that one in on the far sideline. A shot from outside the area, off the outside of the boot from Jake Morris. If that had gone in, that would have been a stunning opening goal. But perhaps a little bit too ambitious, Will. Yeah, well, Morris has been in great form.
So he probably thought, why not? With the form he's been in, maybe that one was a little bit too ambitious though. But I think he had every right to take that shot on.
And a man who has played at the top level for his age group. He's represented Wales under 19, but in futsal. Think how easy these days, Will, would you say it is? You've played a good level of football. How easy is it to transfer the kind of skills that you develop in futsal across the 11-a-side game?
Well, futsal, it is different. Obviously, it's indoor court. The ball is heavier. It's focused more on the technical side. So your touch control, passing under pressure, really. But all of those skills are so transferable to 11-a-side. So, yeah, you see a lot in academies as well that they get their players, especially at a young age, to start playing futsal because it just develops those skills and hones those skills. So when they do go into play 11-a-side, their touch, passing and everything else is just so much better.
Well, you talk of touch, passing and control under pressure. That is exactly what Cardiff Met were exemplifying there underneath our gantry on this near sideline as Nottingham bearing down on them while Met were in possession. They had to play all the way back to Irving, but keeping possession really well, and now the reward is a throw-in on the far side, about halfway towards the Nottingham box. Just waiting for an option to present itself before the throw-in comes. Into the box, but cleared by Chapman. A quiet man off the pitch, but dominant in that situation there. Morris finds Sodi making a run, not for the first time, down that left wing. Trying to stand up his man, and he's done that really well. Swan left in his wake. Gets in the block. And Sodi will remain on that sideline for the throw.
Yeah, Swan did really, really well there. Tracking back, doing the dirty work and just sticking on Sodi. Making sure that cross didn't enter the box. Good defensive work from the winger there.
Sodi with a long run up, as long as he can get with the fence around this pitch. Again, no. A throw in to the box, not able to find anyone. Sodi plays it now to Veal. Great touch from him. A 1-2 with Morgan into the area again. Nottingham with the clearance. Morris wins that one. Sodi, a couple of touches before he unleashes Morris down the flank. Again, under pressure from Swan. Again, it's the Met man who gets the best of that battle. Met starting to feel that their chances might come in this area of the pitch.
Yeah, they've kept the pressure on quite well in the last couple of minutes, recycling the ball well, and that's what they're going to have to do. They're just going to have to put that Nottingham defence under as much pressure as possible. And to be fair to those defenders for Nottingham, they have looked very solid so far.
First corner. Oh, and that is on the line. Morgan appealing for it. He is certain he scored that. I have to say, from this angle, I thought he did too, but that must have been right on the line. An unbelievable chance for Met, and they will be so frustrated not to be coming away from that one. 1-0 up.
Yeah, I don't think you can get any closer without scoring a goal. And as soon as I said Nottingham's defence looked quite solid, they conceded a chance there. And Met, so unfortunate not to be 1-0 up.
I mean, let's have a look at this one. No one else on Met's team really went up for it, though. So maybe that's an indication that it didn't quite cross.
Yeah, there was a lack of appeals.
And in the meantime, Nottingham were not able to regain possession on the goal kick securely, but they do win the free kick just inside their own half. And it's Hugh Dawson, a man who scored in the FA Cup. That's not the FA Youth Cup, Will. That is the actual FA Cup for St Albans. So certainly someone that Met are going to need to keep an eye on defensively through this game. He puts in a huge lofted free kick there, but it ends up back with Met in possession, and Kabongo on the run down the right-hand side. The tackle coming in from Nottingham sends Kabongo flying. Doesn't look like we're getting a free kick for that one, no. Just waiting for the throw-in as the referee goes to check that Kabongo is able to get back to his feet.
Yeah, it did look like the Nottingham player went in slightly late there. Slightly mistimed it, but obviously the referee's a lot closer than we are, so must have thought that it was a good challenge. Kabongo, I'm not sure. He's limping a bit, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's in some discomfort. He will carry on though, shaking that one off. And I mean, he was running at some speed, so even if that challenge was well timed, wouldn't be a surprise to see him going flying through the air like that.
No, absolutely.
Morgan, plenty of space. Sodi's gone on a run, but he's not able to control that one. It's a powerful ball played into him and just slides off his boot over the goal line. Goal kick, Nottingham.
Yeah, you'll see that time and time again. Veal or Morgan looking for that long diagonal, Sodi getting in behind. And the right back and right winger for Nottingham have to be really careful, because Met love to overload with Sodi, and now Morris on the left wing, so they're going to be in for a long afternoon, I believe.
As we shift to the point in the game where the floodlights start to do more work than the daylights. The clouds haven't really broken at all today, but good conditions for playing football, Will. Nice and cool. A little bit of wetness on this grass to help the ball slide. It's not going to be slowed up on this 3G pitch compared to playing on grass. Morris plays this one into the box really promisingly. Another header that goes over the bar from Met. It's Jasper Payne, the man we spoke about earlier on as being in top form. Well positioned for that one, but just not able to get the ball down and underneath the bar.
Yeah, he'll be disappointed with that one. Had the time, but couldn't divert his header goalwards.
I'd say Alex Akers did look fairly well positioned there. So I think it could have been a Nottingham save otherwise. Kabongo, who we saw going down just a few minutes ago, is once again sitting on the pitch, this time being tended to by one of Met's physios.
I think there may be a substitution being made.
Yeah, some action on the bench.
That'll be a huge loss. Huge loss for Cardiff Met. Kabongo brings an energy to that midfield, and not only that, he brings a composure, which is what you want from those players in the centre of the park, and that's going to be a big, big loss. It's the partnership he's had with Reynolds in BUCS especially. It's been a joy to behold, so that is going to be a massive loss for Cardiff Met.
And so much experience that Kabongo has as well. He's represented Cardiff Met over 70 times across all competitions, across his time at the university. So a shame to see him go early in this one.
Yeah, you don't like to see it either, whenever a player has to leave a pitch because of injury.
And it looks as though Rio Booth is on in his place, a sports conditioning, rehab and massage student. So it may be that Kabongo is actually calling on Booth after the game to help him with that injury. A Swansea native is Rio Booth.
Yeah, he's got time to make an impact as well. He'll be disappointed not to start, but now he's got an opportunity to write himself into Cardiff Met history.
Absolutely.
That was a strong challenge.
We are going to see the first card on the pitch of the game. Met's first card, and it goes to Griff Morgan. Not a stranger to cards this season for Cardiff Met across all competitions. He was involved in that JD Cymru Premier match. I think I lost count of how many red cards there were in the end in that one, Will. Do you remember?
Yeah, I think it's probably best if we don't talk about that one, to be honest, Sheps.
Let's hope it stays at a yellow for Morgan. Met need everyone on the park to deal with these Nottingham forays into their half. So far, they haven't amounted to anything. That free kick well over the heads of everyone on the pitch, going for a goal kick. But it does feel like only a matter of time before Nottingham manage to connect on one, even though the momentum is kind of heading towards Met as both teams settle into this game.
Yeah, I don't think there's been many shots on target. The keepers haven't really had to work too much, and I think that's kind of what you can expect, Sheps, from a quarter-final game. Obviously, we know the ramifications of winning and losing, so for it to be a nervy encounter so far doesn't surprise me at all.
Met unable to get on the end of that one. Scrap between the players on both teams, but it's Nottingham who come away with it. And good swerve there by White, but then followed up with a bit of a disappointing lofted pass all the way to Irving. And Morgan on a yellow card, who plays it over to the right-hand side.
Been really impressed with the way Nottingham have held their shape so far. They've really restricted that midfield, not allowed Reynolds to get on the ball, and we know how he makes Cardiff Met tick. So they've isolated him as the ball's been given away.
Sodi, space closing down as that ball came to him. Morris. Into Reese and back to Sodi. Collins to Veal. From one wing to the other as Cadwalla sends this into the box. Reynolds trying to get on the end of that one. Yeah, I mean, I've barely called his name well. That's how well Nottingham have closed him down.
Yeah, and that probably would have been the game plan going into it. As I mentioned briefly just a few seconds ago, that Reynolds, he's the playmaker. He's the one that strings the passes together. So if you can stop him from playing, then you really stop Met from playing. And Nottingham have done that absolutely fantastically so far.
Yeah, they won't have had to dig too far in their research to see the kind of goal-scoring form he has been on for the club. Although maybe they will have had to be careful that they got the right Ryan Reynolds when they Googled him to try and get his fat file. Nottingham free kick in a similar position to one that they had about 15 minutes ago. That didn't connect with anyone.
Morris has done well.
Lots of pressure coming from Cardiff Met. And Johnny White sent over the sideline before the ball there.
Yeah, it was needless from Morris. He did really well clearing the ball, and the Nottingham player wasn't going anywhere. Morris just straight through the back of him, giving away a needless free kick, and he'll be kicking himself if Nottingham score from this.
BUCS Championship quarterfinals are tough enough without you creating chances for your opposition. Again, Met dealing well with the ball that comes into the box. Reynolds trying to take the quick throw. That's to send it back to Sodi. No options in front. He looks like he might have to go all the way back to Veal. Does eventually. And it comes in the form of Rio Booth, the substitute. His first engagement in this game. Hefty challenges from Nottingham and then a hefty challenge from Sodi on Ben Barnett. Barnett is still down.
Yeah, that was
Sodi backing away.
Rash tackle, that one.
I would not be surprised to see a card coming here for Sodi. Barnett is back to his feet. And there is the card.
I don't think he can have any complaints with that one, Sodi.
So both left and right backs under caution for Cardiff Met. The flanks may be the best opportunity for Nottingham to get themselves into attacking positions, knowing that both of those players will be cautious of putting a foot out of line. Reynolds wins that, and it's back to Barnett. Now I'm told by the coaching team for Nottingham that they managed to convince Ben Barnett he had to bring his passport to come here today.
Well, I don't know what to make of that one, to be honest, Sheps.
It's an old joke, it's a cruel joke, but there always seems to be people that fall for it. He's not the first, he won't be the last. Morgan, back to Veal. Sharp run from Johnny White and from Raf Garrett, putting Met under pressure. The harried clearance doesn't find anyone. Route 1, straight off the park.
Yeah, if in doubt, get it out. The game just turning a little bit scrappy. But I think, again, that's just down to the pressure that the game has.
I'm going to say, since that Kabongo injury, it feels like Nottingham have found a little bit more of a foothold in the game, although, here we go, Jasper Payne into the air and the opening goal! What a goal for Cardiff Met, and it is Rio Booth. I was talking about the Kabongo injury, but it is his substitute, Rio Booth, who has made the difference in this one. Well worked into the box by Payne, pulled back by Booth, the single touch right into the bottom corner. 1-0 Cardiff Met.
Well, it's an excellent goal from Rio Booth. As you said, Sheps, the throw-in was taken quickly, worked well into the box. The ball was cut back, Booth one touch, and he finished. Payne did really well. Booth in acres of space, the touch with the left, the shot with the right, into the bottom corner. Akers had no chance, and the Archer celebration inspires the ultras below us.
You love to see it. Absolutely love to see it. And we talk about players needing to take their opportunities on the pitch. Well, you've got to take your opportunities when they come from the bench as well. Booth would not have been expecting to be taking a shot in the first half, but he has come in and he has hit his form brilliantly. Straight off the bench, straight into the box, and the ball into the back of the net. Cardiff Met 1, Nottingham 0, with about 10 to go until half time.
Well, neither team have really had a sniff at goal, but Booth, the composure shown in the box there, and an excellent finish. And that will please his manager, Elliot Evans. An instant impact from the substitute.
Sodi getting up there, and then Booth involved again. You maybe are looking at a shirt and seeing it's got Jones on it, but just a point, Will, that the uni team share their shirts with the JD Cymru Prem side, as we see Met just dealing with that one, a threat down the right-hand side for them. They get it away. Yeah, they share the shirts with the JD Cymru Prem side, so that's why the names don't match up with the ones we're calling out.
Yeah, a lot of the players are wearing other players' shirts. But to be fair, most of the Met players do play in that Cymru Premier side as well, so a few of them have got the correct name on the back of their shirt.
And there's a kind of a sort of one-club approach through the teams. Do you think that's fair to say, Will? And a bit of a turnaround in fortunes that we were talking about earlier after the first few games of the BUCS Championship, when a number of the players that had been involved to that point purely in the Prem started to play BUCS as well.
Yeah, and having been involved in the behind-the-scenes kind of running the media team at the club as well, the approach is our university, our club, and there is this throughout the club, from the academy, women's team, BUCS team, men's first team, that there is this togetherness, there is one club. And you can see with the players who play in the Welsh Prem coming down into the BUCS squad, it is this one club approach, and you can see the effect that has with the players on the pitch.
And the man that has exemplified that perhaps more than anyone else, Ryan Reynolds. It's the man who has set up this Met attack, taking it into the far right corner, and it's Morgan with the cross into the box. Ends up comfortably in the hands of Akers though.
Yeah, Reynolds signing a new contract as well with Cardiff Met till the end of 2026, so that's huge news for Cardiff Met.
Yeah, they'll be really pleased to have secured his services for another year. This a lofted ball to no one in particular. It's Nottingham that managed to get to it first, but Reynolds now finds Payne. Cadwalla on the far side. Good interception at a critical moment there from Isaac Schur. Not quite able to keep the ball in play. And one of the few players on either side that has actually played the other university. He was down here for Nottingham Seconds last year playing against Cardiff Met. So one of the only people from Nottingham that will be familiar with this pitch here at Fortress Kincoid.
It has been a fortress in the recent weeks as well. Many goals scored, many victories seen on this hallowed turf.
Nottingham with an opportunity here though. Certainly outnumbered, but managing to get the ball deep down into Met territory. A strong challenge coming in on Jesse Friend. Stopped him before he could get to the edge of the box, but it will be a Nottingham throw.
Yeah, really strong challenge from Veal. Applauded by the Ultras for that as well.
Their numbers continue to grow as we thought they would.
Noise picking up as well.
Yeah, and we'll expect that there will be a number of those die-hard Ultras are going to be beneath us here on the gantry wheel. So unfortunately, our cameras aren't going to be able to show them to you if you're watching along at home. But they are certainly making their presence felt. And the noise from them when Rio Booth fired in that opening goal in the 37th minute was a cheer to be heard all around the campus. Bit of a slice there. Ball allowed to bounce. Nottingham who come up with it, but Veal straight in, trying to win this back. Then getting a little bit reckless. Nottingham taking this quickly over to Henry Swan, pulls it back. Lovely touch there. McClure trying to find Swan again, but Sodi making a nuisance of himself. Did really well. And in fact, the linesman calling an offside. So pressure relieved on that one for Cardiff Met.
Yeah, they want to keep things the same until half-time, Met. Not give anything away, nothing silly in these dying moments of the first half.
Harry Irving of the Trade Thomas Bluebirds sends this one downfield. Evans, Payne, arms all over him, not able to jump and get himself in a good position for that header, but it's Met who continue up the field. Morris scrapping down the left wing, and a wayward cross.
Yeah, wayward out of the ground. Don't think Morris will want to see that one again.
Met though playing in the right areas of the pitch, not being short of opportunities to get down into the final third. Of course, the pride of Nottingham is Nottingham Forest, back in the Premiership the last few seasons after a while away in the Championship. And Akers has been involved with their youth squad. He actually was in the squad for the FA Cup Youth Finals. We see Payne coming through again, Pulls this over to the left-hand side. Morris getting after it after a Nottingham head. On the ball. Not quite able to find a teammate in the middle of the box. Still though. And Payne fouled in the area, surely. Nothing given by the referee. Nottingham come away with this one. Met need to be alive to the threat that Nottingham present. Irving, he's there to get the clearance in. Thoughts on that penalty shout, Will?
Yeah, I think it could have gone either way. The appeals were definitely there. From where we're standing, it did look like the Nottingham defender made contact with Payne.
Oh my goodness! From outside the area, Jake Morris has made it 2-0 to Cardiff Met. Nottingham, I think they were switched off. They felt that they dealt with the attack. They felt they'd got away with a penalty chance against them. They didn't pay any attention to Morris, and he has fired that one in from range. A superb goal for Cardiff Met.
This is what he does, Jake Morris. You give him time, no matter in the box, on the edge of the box, he will always find a way to score. What a finish. What a finish.
That is not a goal you would see in futsal. That is straight out of the top drawer of 11-a-side football as we get another chance to watch this one.
That was Booth's goal.
Booth's goal earlier on in this one. I'm sure we will get another look at that incredible goal at half-time. 45 minutes is on the clock, so we're just waiting for added time in this one. But a 2-0 lead that Met will now look to take into half-time. Nottingham with a couple of minutes to try and strike back half their deficit. Linking up well here on the right-hand side. The most promising play that they've had for a while. That goal's really woken them up in attack. But in the end, it does come to nothing.
Well, I was going to say, Sheps, the first chance that Met had, Payne crossed it into the box. One of the Nottingham centre-backs did it so well to get his head on to deny Morris. But you can't give him that much space. He will punish you. And I mean, that's a finish right out of the top drawer. I don't think you'll see a better finish than that all day here at Kincoid.
That is why you should be watching BUCS football. The number of times you go to the Premiership and you see the players pass it around so much in front of the box, you hear the home fans screaming, shoot, shoot, shoot. No hesitation from Morris. Heads up football. He wants Met on the scoreboard. He wants their lead extended, and he got exactly that as half-time bears down here at Kincoid campus. 2-0 to Met. The ball now being played around scrappily in midfield. Barnett just winning that one well and finding some space out to Isaac Shaw, who plays it on to Jesse Friend. Just trips slightly over that ball, but finds some time, finds some space. Not able to find a teammate on the end of that one. And that will be half-time in this one. Will, a first half that took a while to get going. Both teams so unfamiliar with one another, taking their time to get to know one another, get to figure out the way the opposition was playing. But two incredibly well taken chances from Cardiff Met see them take a 2-goal lead into half-time.
Yeah, the game was just trying to find its natural flow. And once it had, I think Met, you guys say, they've been the better team in the first half and they fully deserved those 2 goals. Both goals excellently worked. The first one from Rio Booth found himself with time in the box, the touch with the left, the shot with the right, and then Morris. Oh, Shebs, I don't really have any words to describe that from Morris.
No, I cannot wait to see that goal again, and I'm sure we will very shortly. For now, we are going to throw you back down to the studio as Alid and Jay will take you through the action of the first half. We'll see you shortly for the second in this one.
And what a half for Cardiff Met. Rio was giving them a lead into the half, and then an absolute screamer from Jake Morris gives Cardiff Met a 2-0 lead into this half-time break.
It was an amazing first half for Cardiff Met, but as the players take a very well-deserved break, let's get an update on everything else around campus as we cross live to Dan Thomas. Dan, what we missed?
A couple of results to bring you down here at the Archers Arena. Well, when earlier this afternoon, the women's second basketball team hosted Bristol University in the Conference Cup. They convincingly won 85-38 with Maya Breeze top scoring with 20 points. They will now go through to the finals of the Conference Cup. Currently going on there is the National Championship quarter-final between the Archers and Edinburgh. It's currently 33 points to 21 to the home side, and they'll be looking to continue their form after beating Nottingham Wildcats on the weekend. Now, that's the results here at the Archers Arena. We'll now throw you back to the studio.
To a big cup match that took place against UWE. We're joined by Zoe and Tilly from the tennis team in the studio. Girls, how are you today?
Yeah, no, we're really good, yeah.
Good.
Yeah, enjoyed the match today.
How did that game go for you guys today? I heard you won. How did it go for you guys?
Yeah, I think our whole team played really well today. We got a 5-love win overall, which was amazing for the girls. So yeah, we're into the final now for the cup, which is amazing for us all.
A clean sweep.
I was going to ask you about how the season is going so far for you too, but it looks like you're going into the final. What was the season recap for you too? That's something that you could take into for the next season.
Well, I think today was just playing Huey. We all had a tough match. It was a difficult one, sort of. So it's just keeping composed, keeping our heads up.
And are they a team that you've played before? Are you familiar with those players that you've played before?
I think this is the 4th time this season we've played
right.
them.
So you're familiar with those players.
Yeah.
Do you kind of strike up a bit of a friendship with those guys, or do you keep it kind of a competitive nature as well, or do you, because you play those guys so often, do you strike up a bit of a friendship and have a bit of banter between you, or do you just keep it to your teams?
Yeah, I'd say so. I think. Yeah, I mean, we all just have a chat about what we're studying, what year we're in, all that kind of thing. But obviously, when we're playing, we're quite serious, whatever. But off court, at the change of ends, we do sometimes have a little chat. But yeah, no, it's really good.
And just for the people at home, obviously tennis is predominantly a singles game, doubles as well, obviously. But in terms of team tennis and BUCS, how does that work? You mentioned you had a 5-0 win. So is it 5 players that play and you total the games up? How does it work?
So there's singles, so there's 4 singles matches and 2 doubles matches. So every time you win or lose, that counts to a point. So if you win, you get a point. If you don't, then it's the point to the other team. And same for doubles. But today we had a player injured who just played the doubles. So we ended up having 5 players, but we normally have 4, so 2 doubles, and then they play the singles as well, if that makes sense.
And I've got to ask, I've been down to the tennis centre a few times to watch various tennis matches, and you guys self-officiate, don't you? I think there's no umpires there. I can't get my head around how that works. How do you rely on kind of just being sportsmanlike and being gentleman? Well, not gentlemanly, but just kind of working it out between yourselves. How does that work? Because that just blows my mind.
Well, it's just being honest, being a good sportsman. If the ball's in on the line, good shot. If it's out, it's out.
And do you give the benefit of the doubt to the attacker, so to speak, or do you kind of just have to work it out?
Well, if there is a disagreement, I think it's in the rules that, okay, you disagree, you can't find the score, or no, wrong line call, you have to replay the point. So then you start all again.
So it replays like that, yeah.
So there are some players that obviously cheat you out the point. But.
That is something that as I come from South America and also grew up in Spain. In Spain, we wouldn't get to an agreement. We would play the point play the point for over and over.
And we heard you guys weren't involved yourselves, but as the tennis club as a whole had an alumni event on the weekend where former players came back and had a game against the current players and had a big social. I mean, I know you guys weren't personally involved in that, but as a club, how important are those kind of events for just getting a good feeling amongst the club?
Yeah, I think it's quite good. I think the alumni come in and can sort of inspire. I can't even speak. Inspire the. The future BUCS players really to, see what it's like after you finish Met really, and see what opportunities are available and all that kind of thing, and the fact that you can still play tennis after you've left the Met as well. So it's quite inspiring for the new Met players.
And also, the social events are quite good for having a team bond kind of thing, so you to get to know each other better, for you to get a chemistry going when you're playing doubles. Do you think that that's an important factor when you're building up a chemistry?
Definitely 100%. I mean, after this weekend, you can clearly see. So, obviously, it was the current Cardiff Met students versus the past Cardiff Met students. So it forced us to all come together and work together as a team to try and win. I don't think we did in the end. I wasn't sure what the score was, but I definitely agree. I think it's one of the very important things.
Well, thank you so much, guys, for coming in today. Enjoy the rest of your day, and good luck in the next round as well.
Thanks very much. Thank you for having us.
And the Cardiff Met don't only compete in the top level of BUCS competition. They do compete in the JD Cymru Premier as well, the top level of Welsh football. And the latest game was against Bala Town. Let's see how they got on in that game. And we'll be throwing you back to the commentary team soon for the second half. But let's take a look at those first half highlights, because it was a brilliant first half, wasn't it?
It was an amazing first half. Let's take a look at the highlights.
So we can see coming up on the screen here, early Met chant. I mean, it was a cagey start, wasn't it, to the game? And both sides were kind of feeling each other out. A lot of direct play in the first half.
A lot of runners as well. We saw a couple of yellow cards being handed in by the referee.
And then we just see Met hit the bar there. Early chance for Cardiff Met. They went so close. A lot of them thought it was over the line, but obviously not.
Our peers in the commentary section, they thought it was a goal anyway.
Yeah, and that was the screamer from Jake Morris just before the half break. And as we can see here, on the replay again, what a goal! We talked about Jake Morris from the in the pre-game show, and it was another screamer from him again.
It was a lovely goal, coming after a contested situation under the penalty area. So we were debating about it was a penalty or not, and soon after we were debating about that. That screamer for Jake Morris took it down. So lovely first half for Cardiff Met so far.
Yeah, and there was, as we see the first goal here, great finish again. There was a bit of a penalty shout as well. The Cardiff Met are going to need to keep up that momentum in the second half. And as we just roll out of those highlights, and we're going to send you back for the second half as we rejoin Will Shepherds and Will Richards.
Thank you, Alid. Thank you, Jay. And I hope those of you watching along at home enjoyed those highlights. We certainly did up here, Will. And great to see that second goal from Morris.
Yeah, I think Met will be super pleased with the performance of that first half. They really didn't let Nottingham really have anything. They restricted them really, really well, and we know how dangerous Met are going forwards. they can score goals from anywhere, as we've seen, Booth inside the box, Morris outside the box. But Shep's 2-0 is a dangerous scoreline. Nottingham have 45 minutes really to save their season, so they'll be coming out with fire in their bellies trying to get back into this game.
They certainly will. They've been involved in some scraps through the year so far in that northern division of the BUCS Championship. Some really tough teams being that they've had to come up against there, and some tough results that they've achieved. However, Met are obviously going to feel confident coming out in this second half. Captain Barney Sodi did mention in a press conference they were going to throw the kitchen sink at this one. He meant it metaphorically. I think Morris did it literally with that shot. He had tried one of those from long range earlier in the match that had gone over the crossbar, but that second time connected with it absolutely perfectly. It's Bath that await them if they can close out this 45 minutes with by preserving their 2-0 lead. Now they've lost 1-1 to Bath this season, but the most recent one, they absolutely thumped them.
Yeah, and I was here at King Coyd for that one. Cardiff Met absolutely blew Bath away. Obviously varsity rivals as well, but I think Met they'll be confident going into that. Obviously we've still got 45 minutes to play, so we can't get ahead of ourselves. Things can change very quickly in football, as we've seen many times, whether that be Cardiff Met or other teams. So they'll have to come out second half and just do the job. If they play like they did in the first half, then I don't see how Nottingham are going to get back into this game. But pressure can make you do weird and wonderful things, and I think we will be in for a great second half here at King Coyd.
Pressure certainly can. And they were opportunist goals, arguably, from Cardiff Met. So potentially that's a little glimpse for Nottingham of what they could achieve if they get themselves into the right position. They are the first team out in this second half. A statement of intent from them. But a bit of a chilly afternoon, so perhaps no harm for Cardiff Met taking an extra minute or two in the changing rooms, keeping warm.
Yeah, the football's definitely bringing more heat than the weather. But as you said, Sheps, Met with those 2 goals, they've been really opportunistic, but you have to take those chances. Especially in games like this, quarterfinals, semi-finals, when everything's on the line, you have to take your chances, and Met have done that really well in the first half.
Nottingham greeted by quite a quiet pitch here. The Ultras saving their voices for this second 45 minutes, but I'm sure you will be about to hear them spark up beneath us here under the gantry and over on the far side, as here come Cardiff Met, a 2-0 lead from the first half that they are now looking to preserve and hopefully extend as they look towards a BUCS Championship semi-final away to Bath if they can close this one out here at King Coyd. So just a correction there, it was actually Newcastle that won the quarter-final in this half of the draw. I misread the result that had been sent through to me, thought it was Bath that got the win. Newcastle who did. So in fact it's going to be a longer trip away for Cardiff Met if they make it through to the semi-final. For Nottingham, not too far for them to travel, so certainly an incentive there, as well as the opportunity to continue their bid for BUCS Championship glory. Just having a look through the 2 sides to see whether either of them have made any subs at half-time. Other than Dixon Kabongo, who had to go off after a really tough challenge over on the far side, most of the players were looking pretty fit and healthy by the end of the first 45, and this is not the kind of match where you're going to be happy being taken off the pitch halfway through.
No, obviously everyone wants to play their part, but things in football sometimes are unfortunate, and again, it was a really unfortunate injury to Kabongo, a strong challenge, but I mean the impact Booth made, you can't really say too much about that. It was an excellent impact, obviously scoring the first goal as well.
Yeah, and an inspiration to the other players left on the bench who could well feature in this one. see if they can come onto the pitch and make the same impact as Nottingham gets underway in the second half of this BUCS Championship quarter-final here at Kincoid. Cardiff Met to Nottingham 0, 45 minutes to play, and Nottingham with the use of the ball first of all. Lots of headers playing that down into Met's half, but eventually it's Met that are the ones who are able to surface with control on it, and it's Booth just jumping over that challenge there. Nottingham getting it over the sideline, and Sodi will take the throw-in as Met look to assert control, look to work on building their lead. No Archer on the end of that throw-in initially, but played back to Cadwalla, who is being put under some pressure, not able to find a teammate with the clearance, and so Nottingham now inside Met's half, building something here onto Shaw with space. Cadwalla with the block, looking for the clearance, just miscues it, and in fact it's going to go for a corner. So Cadwalla under pressure, does manage to get the ball off the pitch, but Nottingham with the early opportunity in this one.
Yeah, and we know about the aerial threat Nottingham have. They're a very tall side. Their deliveries on free kicks in the first half weren't great, so they'll be looking to improve on that, and they've got to take their chances when they come.
Met sending almost everyone back. That chance going in! And it is a goal for Nottingham. Irving managing to get his hands to it, but then they're just spilling the ball down onto the ground. And I don't know if this one's going to go down as an own goal, Will.
Yeah, we'll have to have a look at that one again. But the ball whipped in right on top of the keeper. Irving looked like he claimed it. I'm not sure. He was put under pressure by the Nottingham attackers. The ball was dropped. Yeah, the ball was dropped and then turned in from Nottingham.
Looked to be Johnny White who was the man putting him under pressure. An absolute dream start to this second half for Nottingham. They half the deficit, 2-1 now, and they are certainly in this quarter-final. Met have work to do to secure their position going through in this knockout stages. Their first opportunity to send the ball down into the Nottingham half, into this right-hand corner. But Rees forced off the ball. He does win the throw-in. And that has just really taken a needle to the balloon here in terms of the atmosphere. The sound that the Ultras were starting to generate in the second half, Will, just dropped.
Yeah, that will give Nottingham so much confidence. I spoke about it before the game. If they can find a way to silence those Ultras, then that will be a key part of the battle. And that's exactly what they did with that goal.
Veal outside the area to Reynolds, pulls it back. Rees fires it in. Oh, what? Wow, that one for just a moment looked like it was threatening to curl itself in on the far post. Nottingham escaping a dangerous chance from Met, who were looking to answer back straight away.
Yeah, from where we're standing, the ball just looked like it was going to creep in that bottom corner. Rees whipped it in with pace. No one wanted to attack it, and maybe from an attacking point of view for Cardiff Met, if someone could have just got a slight nick on it, it could have ended up in the back of the net.
And the delay here is just one of the Nottingham backs receiving a bit of treatment from their physio team. Sure whether that's a nosebleed. He's wiping something off his hand, so he's does look to be a nosebleed. So perhaps a positive, really, this for Met after conceding that goal, that they do just get a couple of minutes to recompose themselves, just have a chat, make sure that they don't give up opportunities like that again. But Irving, on the flip side, time for him to stand there and contemplate what's just happened.
Yeah, well, he was put under loads of pressure from those Nottingham players. He was complaining, he said he was fouled, but I think from your keeper there, you need to be stronger. You need to claim that. If the catch isn't there, then punch it away. Unfortunately, he decided to try and catch it, but due to the pressure, he dropped it, and then, well, the chance was there for Nottingham, and as I said, you have to take the chances when you're given them.
He'd not put a foot wrong so far this game, but then Nottingham hadn't really put him under any pressure. A day like today, quite a lot of dew in the air, it is always going to be harder to make that catch, as you say, Will, and perhaps the punch would have been the better option there. But shoulda, woulda, coulda isn't going to help you in this situation. 2-1 the scoreline as Nottingham have a goal kick. As we get ourselves back underway following the break for the nosebleed. The push in the back from Met wins the free kick for Nottingham.
It's those silly fouls Met can't afford to give away. We know the threat of Nottingham from crosses, from free kicks and corners, so by giving silly little free kicks away like that, needlessly, it gives Nottingham a chance to load the box and put the Met defence under more pressure.
It certainly does. Met need their ultras in full voice now. They need that support behind them. They might feel a little bit alone as this ball comes down into the box. It is goal-scoring hero and substitute Booth who manages to get ahead to it. Reynolds who then fires it downfield for Payne to chase. Nottingham on the end of it, and that ball sent onto the roof of the Nyack just to make sure it is absolutely off the pitch and Met can't continue that attack.
Yeah, it was an excellent defensive header from Booth. He had to get that one right.
Played back to Veal, just inside Met's own half. Sends it forward for Morris. Morgan getting to that one.
Yeah, Met just need to calm things down. Conceding that early goal in the second half, it's not what Elliot Evans would have wanted, but they have to react. They need to calm down and try and get themselves back into the game.
Barnett is only able to find Morgan. He, in turn, is only able to find White, and so it is Nottingham that regain possession. Pressure now on Chapman as he finds Shaw. Good ball won by Veal. Takes his time here, and he's just going to let that one trickle over for the goal kick.
Yeah, great work from Veal. Those two centre-backs, Morgan and Veal, are going to be in for a real battle this second half. And it's so important they remain strong.
Irving looking for options downfield. Cadwallader is open. Everyone else under pressure from Nottingham defenders. No one getting their head to that one. Powerfully sent forwards there by Collins. And into the box, and it's nearly a second! Nearly a second for Jake Morris. That one coming off the outside of the boot and just curving away as it bounced past the left post. But that has got the ultras going. The noise level is up now, Will.
Yeah, it is. Reynolds, we've not seen a lot from him in the game. Took the ball down, flicked the ball through for Morris, and Morris, he had to take the shot quickly, which he did, and that one just past the post.
Promising attacking chances for Met. Show that they are still alive to the opportunity of extending this lead back to the 2-goal margin that they started the half with. Nottingham on this near touchline with the throw-in. It's won by White, but his shirt was being pulled by Morgan the whole time. However, it is Met that do win the free kick.
Yeah, clever from Morgan. Again, just relieving that pressure.
The experience of Reynolds showing now, just giving advice to his teammates. So important to have a player of his level in this side, and it's Reynolds now with a nice touch, sends it down towards that right hand side. Cadwallader looking to find Reynolds again, but that ball cut off by Moffat. He's going to be club president next year for Nottingham. Important role through that year. He may well have an important role to play in the rest of this game as Morgan scraps for that ball. Not fairly, according to the referee.
Yeah, I think that was more of a case of both players having a hold of each other. The referee clearly said it was more Rio Booth, and he's given the foul away. I think he's booked him as well.
Yeah, a third booking of the game for Cardiff Met. They may be ahead on the scoreboard, but it's starting to feel like they are going behind in the referee's estimations. McClure sends this forward. Everyone falling over there. Reynolds fighting hard for it. Does manage to push it back, but Nottingham continue forwards here. Opportunity. Still going forwards. And a huge defensive effort coming in there from Griff Morgan. Sends that for a corner. Nottingham did think they should have got more for that, but I'm not really sure I'm in agreement with them, Will.
Yeah, I don't think it was a penalty, but again, a great chance for Nottingham. They weaved their way into the box, and the ball fell nicely for the on-rushing attacker, eventually winning the corner, and we saw what happened last time.
Played in, but dealt with much more successfully this time by Met. No hesitation getting that one away from their lines. Yeah, that chance coming, I think just he was given too much time on the ball here. And then I kind of think that amount of time actually played against him. He wasn't really sure what to do, and Morgan able to get across.
Yeah, the ball was ricocheted up, and it just didn't fall quickly enough for Isaac Schur there. But again, Met defensively looking a bit unstable. Nottingham trying to get back into this game.
Irving sends that one just over the head of Reynolds. It's Friend who comes away with it and is able to find Barnett. Still going over to the right-hand side now, and McClure sending it forwards to Friend. The chance for Nottingham, wide of the right-hand post. Irving not called into action on that occasion.
Well, they're really growing into the second half, Nottingham. You'd say they've been the better team. Scored the early goal, and it hasn't stopped them. They keep going forwards, keep creating chances. Met under real pressure here.
Pretty even Stevens in terms of opportunities so far in this second half, but Nottingham very, very threatening when they have got themselves in a good position. And we are just waiting again with another injury. One of Met's players now down on the far side. Doesn't look to be anything too serious, perhaps a little bit of cramp.
Yeah, I think it's Morris who's gone down. He made a little sprint across. But there's the shot.
Yeah, I mean, he's just losing his footing as he takes the shot, falling backwards, and would have been an absolute stunner if he'd managed to execute from there in the end. Not too much of a surprise that it went wide.
Yeah, the angle was always against him there. But I think Morris, going back to that, he was the one who went down. I saw him make a quick sprint across, and after that he was holding his hamstring and he was walking a bit gingerly as well. So I think that would be a massive loss for Met if he was to go off as well.
Really would. He's being strapped up, so hopefully he will continue. But yeah, he's been full of attacking intent throughout this match, as play has to continue by the referee while that treatment continues for Morris. Booth in with the header there. And he's more work to do now as his opposite number, Barnett, finds White.
It's a great ball.
The numbers pouring forward for Nottingham. White with plenty of time, but a good challenge coming in from Veal.
Yeah, he had to make sure he won that ball because the Nottingham players massively outnumbered the Met ones there. But they'll be growing in confidence, those Nottingham players as well.
They certainly will, even with Morris coming back onto the pitch and both sides being at full numbers once again. This header sent comfortably up and into the hands of Irving. Not really a threat from Nottingham on that occasion. Scuff clearance though, ends up on the chest of Oscar McClure. He's not quite able to control it, and this played forward for Morris. Akers has to come to the edge of his area to clear that one up. He does well.
Yeah, he doesn't look like he's moving freely, Morris.
Yeah. Still just skipping around there in a bit of discomfort.
It looks like they have switched him around with Payne though. Payne moving out to the left-hand side. Maybe to accommodate that Morris injury.
Throw in for Nottingham. It sounds like tempers are starting to flare a little bit between the players on either side.
Yeah, and rightly so. You'd expect it in a game like this.
A 1-goal margin, half an hour to go in a BUCS Championship quarter-final. Nottingham have never won this competition. Met have 3 times in their history, towards the end of the last decade. Last title shared with Hartbury as COVID hit. They would dearly love to return to the top table and have the advantage here. Reese plays this back. Veal under a lot of pressure, confusion there. Irving did the right thing, came out, stabbed the ball downfield, and now Met need to assert some control over this scrappy period of play.
Yeah,
Cadwallader sends it over the line.
They need to calm down, Sheps. It's not the way they're playing, very scrappy. We're used to Met keeping the ball, playing along the floor, but this isn't the Cardiff Met we know.
Morgan gets to that one as Garrett was given too much opportunity on the left wing. Another corner for Nottingham. Momentum sliding towards the green machine. And it's Barnett who is going to take the corner. He might have been confused about bringing his passport earlier, but he's found his home by that corner flag. There comes the punch from Irving. Not quite out the area.
It's a chance for a counter here if played correctly.
Collins sends it down for Reese to chase. Puts some pressure on Akers. And Akers not able to keep that ball on the park. As we are going to see the end of Morris's involvement today. An absolute screamer. 10 minutes before half-time to put Cardiff Met 2-0 to the good. Jake Morris is off, and it is Tom Vincent who comes on in his place, an Oxford City Academy player. 6'6" tall. Will. Now that is something that could well play to Met's advantage in the set plays as the game goes on.
Yeah, he's a player I know very well. Having played in the Gothia Cup with him, he is a target man due to his height, but very good with his feet. He knows where the back of the net is. He'll give Cardiff Met and those Nottingham defenders a different idea of how to play as well. You can go more direct with Vincent up front, but he'll be relying on Payne and Reese to make those runs in behind as well.
Be interesting to see whether they move Payne back towards the middle or keep him out on the left wing where they'd moved him to once Morris had got injured.
Yeah, I think Vincent will be going straight through the middle, Payne out wide.
That free kick sent to no one in particular really, but Nottingham able to get the ricochet. having to play it all the way back to Akers, who certainly wasn't expecting it to come back to him. This one over the top now, and Dawson with the opportunity on the left-hand side of the box. Pulls it back to Garrett. Collins going down, appealing for the foul, but it's Met that come away with it here. And the first opportunity to see Vincent on the ball. Plays that one straight into the Nottingham defender, and the free kick given to Nottingham. Second one that's soft for Met to give away, and I would say soft for the referee to have awarded as well. But head on that from Johnny White, but it goes over the goal line, wide of the posts.
Yeah, Booth has to be careful. He's already on a yellow. Doesn't want to draw attention to himself, which is what he did with that foul. Irving's now gone down as well. It's not the luck Elliot Evans is looking for. But this was the chance. We know Nottingham are a very direct team. I mean, it was a fantastic ball into the box. Really whipped in, lots of pace, great accuracy, but the header goes wayward.
Johnny White looking strong there, though, despite only recently having returned from 18 months out with a broken leg. Key player for Nottingham. And expect to see ball being played towards him again and again as Nottingham continue to assert themselves in this second half and chase down Met's lead.
I was going to say there might be an issue if Irving has to go off as well.
He's back to his feet, having a chat to the referee.
Probably about the first goal.
Yeah, it's his first opportunity to ask why play was allowed to continue, and that certainly does seem to be what he's asking about. The referee just waving his arms to show why he thought that the ball had come out of Irving's hands and it was fine for it to be played on. I don't think they've agreed, Will.
No, and I don't think Irving would ever agree with the referee on that one either. Don't think any goalkeeper would, to be honest.
All he can do is make sure he stops the chances that come his way for the remainder of this game. Just over 20 minutes in this quarter-final. Met will certainly be searching for more. Here goes White again, though, down this right-hand side. Nottingham are really not happy that nothing was given there initially. No, it is a second yellow for Morgan. The whistle seemed very late, but a second yellow for Griff Morgan, and he is sent from the field. Cardiff Met down to 10 men with a 1-goal lead in this quarter-final, Will.
Well, they're capitulating, Sheps. Coming out for the second half, Elliot Evans probably told them, keep it the same, and discipline was spoken about before the game. And to be reduced to 10 men with 20 minutes to go, well, the pressure's really going to be on now.
Morgan knew what was coming his way. He went straight over to the referee, looking to change his mind. There's no chance. Second yellow. Morgan off. Nottingham on the attack. Down that left-hand side through Jesse Friend. And how different does this picture look than it did 20 minutes ago, Will? They were coming out for this second half, 2-0 in the ascendancy. The play had all the momentum had shifted towards Met. They looked absolutely imperious. And now it is Nottingham with that momentum, Nottingham with the man advantage, and Nottingham who scored in this half.
Yeah, well, they'll be fancying their chances now, Nottingham. They'll look to load the box, get their shots away and keep Met under pressure. And Met are going to have to be very, very strong defensively.
Booed in there with the header, but it's not cleared away. Surely a goal. So well dealt with on the line by Sodi. Nottingham now appealing for the penalty. The free kick given to Cardiff Met. A real mess in front of goal. A real scramble from Sodi on the line. Met preserved their lead for now.
Yeah, well, Irving definitely redeemed himself with that save. A really strong hand to it. Parried the ball away. It did fall to the on-rushing Nottingham attacker. And the shot was taken. Sodi did really well to get back onto the line. As you can see here, the shot comes in. Irvin, great save. And Sodi, the awareness to get back onto the line. And he was in the right place at the right time.
Garrett, a real threat there at the start of that play. 6 goals that he has scored this season, despite being a fresher. What a way to make your mark at the start of your uni career, and that could have been another for him there. Another player down for Nottingham.
This is where we're really going to see what Cardiff Met are made of, Sheps. A big 20 minutes. The players have to put in a performance. They have to be solid.
It's going to require an adjustment to their back four. Do you expect to see them pull someone back from the midfield, or do you think they're going to make some changes here to cover for Morgan's absence?
Well, to be honest, Elliot Evans is very lucky in the sense he's got a very versatile squad. Looks like Vincent is dropping back there into a centre-back role, which, I mean, doesn't surprise me because of his height. And, you know, if he has to do a job there, he'll do the job there. That's what they have to be. They have to be professional now, Matt. It's definitely not the impact Vincent thought he would be making either. Looking to score the goals, not keep them out.
But at this stage, with this scoreline, stopping a goal being scored by Nottingham is every bit as valuable as scoring one at the other end for Met. So he could well be a key man, a key substitute in this game after Morris had to go off. Obviously those 2 subs for Met only coming through injury. There might not have been tactical changes that Evans would have chosen to make at this point in the game. Certainly Booth in the first half wouldn't have been. That substitution ended up being a masterclass. Will Vincent's be as well?
Yeah, we'll definitely be hoping for. That looked like a handball from Booth.
I would have said so, but play continues, and it's Payne that goes chasing after this one, and he looks like he's just about going to win it, trying to keep the ball in field, and it is still Met on the ball. Sodi plays it back. Booth with the chance in the box. Well, he didn't have any hesitation taking his chance in the first half, but just took too long on that one.
Yeah, it looked like the ball got caught under his feet, but he had to get his shot his way. That will give Met a bit of confidence, though. They can go forwards, but they just have to be opportunistic about it.
And Nottingham back on the ball in centre field. And they'll get a second throw in here. Barnett not given any time to find a teammate after that throw-in. Good challenge from Reynolds. Another free kick to Nottingham as the challenge then got a little bit too scrappy. They've still got 2 players on the park on a yellow card. And we know that the referee is not afraid to give a second yellow now. Free kick from a long way out for Nottingham. All of their players now on the edge of the area. It is Vincent that is found completely on his own in the box and able to clear that one. Just kept in field here. Oh, kept in really well by Reese, and he now plays it over to the far side. Opportunity building for Met. Towards the box. The shot taken.
What a save.
And a save forced by Akers. Lovely stuff from Met.
Brilliant counter-attack. Brilliant counter from Met. Those are the opportunities they're going to have to take. Reese did really well to avoid the challenge. They've played a fantastic ball out for Payne, who's looked lively throughout the game. Got a shot away and Akers in goal. Really strong left hand to deny the Met attacker.
And the corner comes in straight to Akers. He's wasting no time trying to get this down the field. Perhaps he should have spent a little bit more time with ball in hand though. This one sent back up the field. Reese going after it. Keeps it in field. Plays it back now to Cadwallader, who's got Collins on his inside. Back to Cadwallader. Good link-up play between those two. Reese will play it back. Nottingham with the header. And here's Garrett. Nottingham need to just calm themselves again, get some composure. Just as Met starting to grow back into this one. That's the last thing that Nottingham want. They do not want their good work to get themselves in this position. The goal scored and then the advantage of having an extra man on the park. They do not want to give Met a foothold back in this one.
And it's where that transition for Nottingham from defence into attack, if they can be a bit quicker with that, then yeah, that's where the opportunities are going to be. Obviously having a man advantage as well.
Reynolds does really well to find Sodi. Payne on to Collins. And now Reese on this right-hand side. Playing it forward. That one's just going to skip over the top. And Reynolds looking for options. More than satisfied to see that ball go over the sideline for a Met throw.
This is where Met are going to need those players like Reynolds and Reese who have the experience just to guide them through the last 15 minutes or so.
It does feel that since that little pause that we had when Irving was down, the players given a little word as here goes Reynolds towards the box. Yeah, a word from Evans on the sideline that seems to really have shifted their mentality. They've come back from that pause with a lot more intent, a lot more go forward, and the result of all of that is a second corner in as many minutes.
Yeah, and something needed to change from Met. Under real pressure from that Nottingham side.
Reese fires this one in. It's hanging in the air. Vincent trying to get to it. Falls just short of it. Surely a free kick to Cardiff Met. Eventually the referee does go to the whistle. Cadwallader pulled backwards there. Not able to get to the ball. And it's Reese with the ball under his arm who marches forwards to the spot marked by the referee. Really promising position here for Met.
Yeah, Reynolds over it as well. Real opportunity this.
Bit of a conference between Reese, Reynolds and Cadwallader. Cadwallader sent backwards, so he's not going to have a stab at this one.
Yeah, especially not with those two standing over it.
Three-man Nottingham wall. It's Reese! What a chance for Cardiff Met! Just underneath the crossbar, right through on Akers. He manages to get his hands to that strong double palm, sends that over the crossbar. But a great shot.
Yeah, he had to make the save. Reese hit that with venom. And Akers, well, doing brilliantly to tip it over the bar. It had to be a strong hand as well. Anything other, and that could have very easily found its way in the back of the net.
Here we go again, another corner from Reese. Cadwallader, if he can win this one, keeps the attack moving, but instead it's Nottingham on the counter. Sodi finds Vincent to shut that one down. Payne turns, chases after this one. It's Met look to continue the siege that they have laid to Nottingham's goal in this last few minutes. Free kick, Cardiff Met.
Yeah, excellent work from Payne.
This is exactly what Met need to be doing well. They need to be using up these minutes. They need to be giving themselves these opportunities. And I mean, if from those opportunities they can be creating shots as good as this one from Reese. So we get to see it one more time.
Yeah, it's a great save. I mean, it was directly at the keeper, but still regardless, the keeper had to make the save.
Much better that than one that sails over the crossbar. You never know what might happen as the ball ricochets back, as Met have another chance. That one does go over the bar from Booth.
Yeah, it was another chance. Rio Booth again. This time not having the same luck that he did in the first half. But those dead balls for Cardiff Met, they're going to be the ones really, they're going to get the most opportunities from them.
Play shifting towards the far side. Akers takes his time to send this one down towards halfway. And it's just about Met that come away with this one, although slightly more rush than it maybe needed to be from Collins, but they'll be all right with that one. The ball just trickling over the sideline down towards Nottingham's corner.
Yeah, they'll be very, very happy to keep the ball there, Cardiff Met.
Return from Vincent here. So that ball goes out once again. It's going to be Cadwallader with the throw, just inside Nottingham's half. Played back to Rees. Just going to try and turn and cross this. The challenge coming in from Nottingham. They thought they'd got away with that for a moment. Interesting to see the ref. He seems to be taking his time before he blows the whistle on these decisions at the moment.
Yeah, he had to have a think about that one. Just weighing up, really. I think whether it was a foul or not, I mean, it clearly, from where we were standing, looked like it. But we got to the right decision in the end.
No card shown on this occasion, despite the promise that Rees was showing with that run. So he'll have a free kick at surely an impossible angle. So he'll send this one in with a cross instead. Not able to be sent goalwards by Reynolds.
Yeah, he just caught it wrong. Looked like the ball just bounced up as he struck it. And when that happens, it's very hard to control the shot.
Chapman reverses play to the opposite side. And for the first time in a while, we are seeing Nottingham with possession down in Met's territory. And they win a corner for it.
Yeah, really, with 8 minutes to go, Nottingham are going to be throwing everything at this now. They've got 8 minutes, really, to save their season, whether they take that to extra time or not.
Almost everyone in the box for Nottingham. It's Met that managed to get the better of that one, and Payne sends it towards halfway, just dribbling down there. Gives them plenty of time to set their defence, and ought to give Nottingham time to get themselves back on side.
Yeah, Met will just be looking to slow the game down now. Not too long left to go.
We will have a fair bit of added time in this one, though, with the injuries we've had, Will. Not sure whether we're going to get much of an indication from the sidelines of how much time we will play.
Injuries, red cards, goals. There'll be a fair bit added on, I assume.
It is not a match to take your eyes away from. Met 2, Nottingham 1. Into the final 6 minutes of regulation. Nottingham playing this one quickly. They are aware that time is against them.
Looks like Met are going with a back five now. Rees in at right wing back. Cadwallader, Vincent and Veal making up the centre backs, and Sodi at left wing back.
Played forwards to White. Irving controls that with his feet and sends it out. That header not really to anyone from Nottingham, so it is Chapman who has to go to work and then finds Moffat. Back over now to Dawson.
Payne done really well there.
It's going to be a card here. That's a red card that the referee has pulled out of his pocket. he has red carded Elliot Evans, the manager. Now the ball did look to have been kicked away a little bit, but I've never seen that, Will. I've never seen a red card given a straight red for a manager for kicking the ball away in this situation.
Yeah, I wasn't really too sure what happened. I'm not sure if it was given to Evans or to Jack Lyons, the assistant manager. I'm trying to work that one out.
Well, he's not left the sideline. He's not left the technical area.
I think it might have been given to Jack Lyons.
And on the ground, Matt Moffat having to fight away the attentions of 3 Met defenders. He's done well. It's Nottingham who can keep possession here. Substitute Jacob Raphael now pulling this one back to Chapman. The cross coming in. Booth is there. Once again, no, Nottingham forwards. There's the equaliser. Cardiff Met 2, Nottingham 2, and it is Fraser Geddes who is the man on the spot for the University of Nottingham. Just as we'd got to a point where it looked like Met had regained control of this game and were going to be able to see out the closing stages, they now find themselves level. Extra time, down the sights, and a man down for that 30 minutes.
Well, it was an excellent ball in. Right into the centre of the goal. And a bullet header. Irving from that far out has absolutely no chance. And Met throwing away a 2-goal lead. We say a 2-goal lead is the most dangerous scoreline in football. And Nottingham have proved that exactly right.
That's exactly what you said at half-time, Will. Yeah, I think there Irving thought that ball was just going a little bit further over. He didn't expect it to be Geddes who ended up with it. And a well-taken chance from Nottingham, who certainly will fancy their chances of adding to their lead before the 90 minutes are up. Irving with the save. Booth on the ground. Cadwalla, sorry.
Massive save from Irving.
Back into the box. Vincent makes his height known, but no! Nottingham with the third! It is Jacob Raphael, super subs for the University of Nottingham. First Geddes, and then a minute later, Jacob Raphael, who puts Nottingham into their first lead of the game. They simply cannot believe it.
Well, it's been a completely different performance from this Nottingham team in the second half. It's 2 goals in 2 minutes, and they've completely turned the game around here at King Coyd. Cardiff Met don't know what's hit them.
Got to say, I'm not sure the Archer celebrations from the Nottingham players were really needed, as we see Raphael almost unmarked and pure joy as he puts in Nottingham's third goal of this one. A goal behind. Met have it all to do now with time ticking away.
The deflection from Cadwalla there completely took the ball away from Irving. And Met, who seemingly had the game under control, are now chasing it for the first time in the match with only a couple of minutes to go.
And there is Raphael, full of beans after that possible game-winning goal. Coming in with the block. Throw in Cardiff Met. Just a couple of minutes ago, Will, I would have been asking you your man of the match and expecting it to be a Cardiff Met name.
Yeah, I'm going to have to reconsider, so you might have to ask me in about a minute or so for that one.
Understandable. The game has absolutely spun in this last couple of minutes. Fraser Geddes and Jacob Raphael seizing it by the scruff of the neck. That red card for Griff Morgan, which had put Met up against it.
Yes, that completely changed the game. Completely changed it.
An opportunity though. A save forced. And so we will have a Met corner. Numbers far less of an issue when you're starting an attack from the corner flag. Met still though not sending everyone forward. as we hit the 90 minutes. Sent in, hands to it, and then eventually Akers does follow that one up and makes it safe. The noise now coming from the Nottingham supporters, the ultras almost silenced. They are as stunned as we are, as stunned, no doubt, as you are watching along at home. A 2-0 lead for Cardiff Met at half-time has turned into a 3-2 deficit as we hit the end of regulation. Do Cardiff Met have anything left in stoppage time? Raphael sending this forward to Geddes.
It's the last chance saloon for Cardiff Met here.
He can't find Reynolds. Here's Friend. Irving plays this out this box. Looking for Vincent. Play continues, despite the protestations of the Nottingham players. Over to Cadwallader with some space on this right-hand side. Into Veal and then pulled back. Sorry, into Reese and pulled back to Veal. No one on the end of that one, though. Raphael galloping up this left wing. Nottingham's hero. Veal and Reese back to try and shut him down, but still Raphael making a nuisance of himself. Will, after that flip of the script from Nottingham, do you think you got a man of the match for us?
Yeah, I think there's been a few names that could have got thrown around. I think Jasper Payne for Cardiff Met's worked tirelessly up front. Jack Veal's been monstrous at the back, but Jesse Friend for Nottingham, he's the man of the match for me. He's done excellently, controlled that midfield, got his side back into the game, been a threat all afternoon. So yeah, Jesse Friend's my man of the match.
Nottingham's number 9 as Met have one last chance.
That was the one.
Header, and Reese just scampering after it. If only he had had an extra yard head start on that, he might have been able to redirect that into the bottom right corner. Players stunned and exhausted on both sides.
Yeah, that was the one. That was the one chance Met were looking for. Rio Booth, a free header almost 6 yards out.
The man who opened the scoring in this match this evening, not able to salvage it for Met. And Nottingham happy to use up the time here. They will have a goal kick. Only seconds remaining in this one.
Met will be hoping for one more chance. Whether or not they'll get it, I'm not sure. But you see Nottingham players just going down, trying to eat up a bit more time. They know how close they are to a BUCS semi-final.
What a turnaround. What a turnaround. I mean, 45 minutes ago, it seemed like they had absolutely no chance. They'd been outplayed more and more as that first half had gone on. 2 goals behind. But they came out with real intent. They scored that early one. Then they got the benefit of the red card for Griff Morgan. And 2 goals in quick succession right towards the 90 minutes has put them moments away from reaching a BUCS Championship semi-final against Newcastle. We are back underway as man of the match. Friend attempting to get to that one. Collins is underneath it now for Met. Plays it forward to Vincent. That one into space. Reynolds after it. Sodi with a bit of a heavy touch. Heads towards the left sideline. Pushed back by Nottingham. Using up as much time as possible. Collins tries to turn and get round the outside. Dragged down. Throw given to Nottingham. Understandably, Met frustrated. Understandably, Nottingham in no rush.
You know, the second half performance Nottingham have put in, they fully deserve to get something out of this game. Met will be so disappointed, especially to lose it in the way they're losing it at the moment.
They came into this game there as the form team. 6 wins in a row. 26 goals in those 6 games. Nottingham had struggled in the second half of the regular season. They'd only got here through a forfeited game by Swansea in the round of 16. They may well have won that one, but we hadn't seen them win a game on the pitch since the 4th week of the league. Cardiff Met at home. Cardiff Met started the strongest, and yet the script completely ripped up, completely turned around by Nottingham.
But that's the thing, Sheps. That's the thing about knockout games. Form does not matter one bit. They're one-off games, and all that matters is the result at the end of it.
One final chance here. Reese galloping into the Nottingham half, blocked by Barnett, who it does see yellow. Barnett had absolutely no intention of going for the ball there. I think Reese was slightly relieved to get the foul, though. He had run a long way to get to that point, and no options were really opening up for him.
They'll look to get this into the box.
Is going to take the free kick, play this one forwards into the box. They're sending everyone. Irving running from his own box. They know this is the last chance saloon now for Cardiff Met. They have to get the equaliser. They have to take this to extra time. Reynolds plays it forwards. It's a Nottingham head that gets to it first. Collins. Reynolds chips it forwards into the box. Again, Nottingham that get to it first. The turn from Veal. Collins, can he get it in one more time? Over the crossbar. And that will surely be that. The referee's whistle sounds a comeback victory for the ages for the University of Nottingham. They are absolutely delighted. Dead and buried after 45 minutes. They are resurrected and on their way to Newcastle for a BUCS Championship semi-final. For Cardiff Mets, it is disappointment. They are left to rue what could and will, I'd say, should have been with the position that they'd got themselves in halfway through this match.
Yeah, they'll be so disappointed. I think you can see it. They're so deflated out there. But ultimately, if they look back at it, that second half performance wasn't up to the standard they set themselves. And Nottingham took full advantage of that. Goals change games whenever they're scored, and Nottingham got one so early on. Then you had the red card on top of that. And just from there, Met were never really able to get a foothold in the second half, and Nottingham, well, they did everything they needed to do. And as you said, Sheps, they're off to Newcastle for that semi-final.
Talked about the pedigree of Cardiff Met as a sporting institution earlier in the first half. University of Nottingham are certainly not short of pedigree, not short of history, and another chapter in their history written here today. Back from 2 goals down to win 3-2 against all the odds. The University of Nottingham will make it to the semi-finals of the BUCS Championships this year. Ultimately, one step too far from Cardiff Mets. You see the frustration there. Reynolds can't believe that game got away from Met.
Yeah, multiple injuries as well. You could see Kabongo there on crutches. Morris had to go off as well. Yeah, secondly, the second half performance from Met just wasn't up to the high standards they set themselves.
And we're going to see some of the highlights. Not that Met might consider them to be as such, following the result. But here is the opening goal for Cardiff Met, fired in by Booth. A bright start when the sun was still up.
Yeah, great technique on that one from Booth. You can see it here. Payne does really well. Booth and acres of space. Left foot, right foot shot. And he got off to the perfect start.
And then the peak of the match coming up after Booth had scored. It was Morris who tried a long-range effort earlier in the game. An absolute screamer from him there, Will.
Yeah, a bolt from the blue. Jake Morris, 25 yards out, I would say. Curls it. Not quite in the top corner, but doesn't really matter. Goal's a goal. And going into half-time, that's all they needed, Cardiff Met. But there, Irving will be looking at that one saying he should have done better. He should have been stronger. But that was, a minute into the second half?
Yeah, and was followed shortly after by this red card for Griff Morgan. Second yellow translates into a red, and Met down to 10 men for the final half hour of this game. A second red shown here to the assistant manager.
Yeah, Jack Lyons, you can see clearly kicking the ball away there. The back heel, a straight red from the referee. I mean, the rules are the rules. He was given his marching orders. And it wasn't long after that Nottingham got their second goal of the game.
Yeah, the equaliser coming from Fraser Geddes. A man who has lived in 6 countries, but he certainly found his home here tonight at King Coyd campus. And then the winner, Jacob Raphael. Not his first time at King Coyd. He played for the Twos here last year. And what a winner for University of Nottingham.
Yeah, I mean, Met would be so disappointed with that one.
Yeah, they really will. A match that they had full control over at half-time. A match that they ought to have asserted themselves in this second half. But a catalogue of mistakes, perhaps a decision that they would want taken again on that first goal for Nottingham. And then 2 goals towards the end of the game as they were down to 10 men that gave the win to the University of Nottingham. Season over for Cardiff Met, as we send you down now to Dan Thomas, who is pitchside.
I'm joined here now by Nottingham captain Ant Banks. And congratulations, first of all, 2-0 down at half-time. How can you describe your team's resilience and determination in today's game?
Oh, it's just cracking from all the boys, really. I mean, we've come out first half, not put out a good display for ourselves, bit leggy from the journey, and then second half, it just shows how much the boys wanted it out there today, really.
What did you tell them at half-time, or was it the gaffer who took in charge? What did you tell the boys?
Oh, we were all, I'll be honest, we were having a bit of a barney in there at half-time. We knew we hadn't showed up, and I think everyone knew what we needed to do to put it right. We just needed a bit more on the ball, needed to back ourselves a bit more, and that really showed second half.
What's your plans now, as in what will your plans be from now looking towards the next game for the semi-final?
Well, I think we've got either Newcastle or Bath a couple of weeks away. Just same as always, get back in on Friday, make sure our preparation's right, working on the ball, everyone in the gym, making sure we're doing our bits, make sure we're ready to go again.
Yeah, I can confirm it is Newcastle away. You've got next round. Yeah, so what's the plans tonight? Back to Nottingham, or are you staying the night in Cardiff?
Well, I'm a bit gutted actually. I can't stay because I've got work in the morning, but most of the boys are staying. Night out in Cardiff should be a good day.
Cheers. Well, thank you very much. Congratulations and all the best next round.
Thanks, mate.
So joining me next are Jake Morris and Rio Booth. Boys, hard lines and lucky, bad result. However, how do you feel you performed personally out there? Both of you scoring a goal.
Yeah, well, we dug in down to 10 men quite early in the second half, but first 15 minutes of the second half wins you a game there, and we conceded 2 sloppy goals, so,
Yeah, and how tough was it for you boys? It's going down to 10 men so early on in the second half.
Yeah, it was tough. I thought first half we all done well. I think we're the better side. Second half, down to 10 men, it's cup football. When you're down to 10 men, you're against it. We conceded two sloppy goals back to back, then we're out.
And for some of the boys, that's the final time they'll play together. So how gutting is that for you, not having the final bow what you like with some of the boys?
Yeah, it's not nice. Like, everyone's dream at the end of the BUCS is to play in the national final, but this year cut short.
Yeah, well, thank you very much, boys. As in, once again, sorry about that and unlucky. We'll now throw you back to the studio, joining with Aled and Jay.
An unfortunate result for Cardiff Met after a good first half. An early goal for Nottingham and Griff Morgan's expulsion allowed them to get back in the game and score 2 late goals to secure a spot for Nottingham in the semi-finals.
Yeah, absolute heartbreak, wasn't it, for Cardiff Met? I mean, it seemed going so well. Like, they were cruising at half time and even into the second half. And then that red card really changed things. Nottingham got that scrappy goal, and at the end they pushed and in the end, got their rewards, didn't they?
I would say, like, after Griff Morgan expulsion, not only he got expelled, but the manager Evans got expelled as well. So definitely that had to have an effect on the Cardiff Met side.
Yeah, and we've seen late drama here at King Coyd and heartbreak for Met. They will not be going to the semi-finals, but congratulations has to go to Nottingham. They will be moving on. We'll be back next week on Cardiff Met Sport TV. We'll be back in action with rugby. Here's a sneak preview of what's coming up next week. Until then, thanks very much for watching. Hwyl fawr.
Thank you.